Okay, so we're technically live, Kevin, even though probably no one's here yet. So people are gonna start trickling in. I know how delayed these things can be. I feel like a grandma. I'm pretty sure there are grandmas out there who know how to live stream better than me. Um,
I'm still trying to set
Not
up.
dissing the grandmas, I'll tell you that much. Yesterday, I had to learn. I had to Google what respect the drip means. So that's how many years old I am that I
You could have
have to
asked me. I
know.
know.
What does
I keep
respect the
up with it.
drip mean, Kevin?
It's like I think the drip is like when you look nice or you have good like swag or whatever, and then it's like telling people to respect it. Is that right?
I believe so. So, no, but it is. Wait, when I looked it up yesterday, you are correct, and I feel stupid. But anyway, so far we've got some folks watching on Facebook that I can confirm. We got Rosalinda Cruz who has said hello. She said hi. Don't be shy, guys. Go ahead and comment, ask us questions. This is new technology for us.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the stream at all.
I'm seeing it. We have
Actually,
259 people watching on Facebook, and I have to check the YouTube and to see. Yeah, we're here. We're here on YouTube. We're live. We're live on all fronts. I have to mute
okay, good.
myself on.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so officially we can start the party. Hi everybody. We're using new technology. What was that? To stream. So, hi. I'm Jenny. And who's this guy? Introduce
I'm
yourself.
Kevin. I am. I'm Kevin. I'm not Jenny's actual cousin. Somebody earlier said that to somebody. They're like, somebody was like, "Quién es Kevin?" And somebody's like, "Oh, he's Kevin. He's Jenny's cousin." And I'm like, I'm not. We're not actually related. Um,
We've got from Edward. Hello, potentially estranged nieto de abuela. I love the fan theories. Kevin, can you tell us? Have you
mhm.
heard? I mean, we've been reading some of the fan theories lately. Um,
Yeah,
what are some of your favorites?
I think some of the favorite, my actual, I don't want to say them, but we were doing that video. We want to do that video where like people in the family speculate who Kevin is, and three different people jokingly guessed those three different things. You know what I'm talking about? So like the three things that we want to put in that video, people have said that. And I'm like, oh, it's like they're outlandish ideas. People have like actually guessed them.
Yeah.
But my favorite that is not one of those is that I am Yanet's son, which doesn't make sense, but
Look,
yeah.
sorry. I know that I just scratched my nose. We're living in a weird time.
Yeah.
I've done some lives before, and people are like, "You touched your face!" I washed my hands many times before I stepped foot into my office. So if I want to dab my nose ever so slightly, I haven't left the house in 2 weeks, by the way. Anyway, but yeah, no, it's crazy how Kevin and I have already come up with these like fan theories. Well, not fan theories, but theories of our own, trying to figure out Kevin's origin, Primo Kevin's origin, and our own fans are guessing it for us. We're like, okay. But we're on the same wavelength, and I can tell that our audience loves telenovelas because of how convoluted and topsy turvy some of the theories are as to where Kevin came from, whose cousin, why is he in this family, why does nobody know who he is. And so, unfortunately, if you thought that was what today was going to be about, guess again. We wanted to do an April Fool's video regarding Primo Kevin's origin, and unfortunately, this happened. And so Kevin and I currently cannot work on videos together until this is all over. So we have to put that
Yeah.
video on the shelf until further notice.
Yeah. We were gonna do it for January, and we delayed it, and then we were gonna do it for this next month, and we delayed it. So
yeah. So I love this comment that I'm pull.
what?
Can you see it? Love when Kevin appears, pobrecito. Everyone felt really bad for you in that last video, by the way.
I know. I think we took it too far.
Eric Fish is saying, Jenny, Kevin loud, can't hear you. Oh no, you guys can't hear me? Let me check the levels here. Testing, testing. Is that better? If you guys are still having trouble hearing me, I will switch microphones. So please let me know. Be a good citizen. Because the mic is right here. It's right in my face. But I just tested I just don't want to burst any eardrums. So before we start playing the videos for this watch party, I want to make sure you can hear me okay. Okay, beautiful. Thank you all for helping me with the mic situation. I know I'm very loud, and then my whole life I grew up with people being like, shush, 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 shush.
Yeah.
I hate being shushed. No Cuban women like to be shushed. But I'm loud, and so... Anyway, okay, so we're gonna play the first video. So Kevin and I were deciding what 5 videos do we show you guys. And so we thought to go back in time to around, was it 2018 mostly? These videos are from like 2017.
In 2018, well, 2017, the first one I think is 2017. It was 28. You're doing mostly stuff on your channel at the end of 2017.
Yeah.
Like fall. A lot of the character stuff, the like little family universe started in 2018. But I think this first one is 2017.
Okay.
I think.
So, it gets really stressful as a content creator to be on top of all the trends, and that's why TikTok is very difficult for me, because I just like to do evergreen content, stuff that can live on the internet forever, and it doesn't have to have a rhyme or a reason or be a part of any trend. It's just easier and less stressful for me. But sometimes it's almost impossible to ignore certain trends. So when there was an SNL sketch that Kenan Thompson did regarding the Amazon Alexa and how old people handle the Amazon Alexa. And so I didn't want to, a lot of people were like, oh my God, you need to do an Abuela sketch with Alexa, but I'm not going to copy SNL. So Kevin and I came up with a different way of doing this video, which is how Amazon Abuela came to be. So enjoy.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wasn't this a reaction to the Super Bowl video where it was all the celebrities were doing voices?
Yes, it was. But I remember the SNL sketch came out around the same time. But yeah, the Super Bowl had just happened, and there was these really viral Amazon Alexa commercials with different celebrities pretending to be Alexa. And so, yeah, that's how it was truly. Thank you for reminding me. But that's how it was birthed. It was like, what would Abuela be like if she was Amazon Alexa? Sorry, I see the little pinwheel going.
Hey, Abuela, what's today's date?
Today is February 8, 2018. También es el cumpleaños de tu primo Armandito de Hialeah y el bautismo de Sandrita. Y también es la boda de Ana Mari con el carnicero. Y también es el día que se le cayó el dientecito a la hija de la vecina.
Abuela, where should I go on my date with Daniel?
Daniel, ¿y qué le pasó a Jorge? No te metes con 2 muchachitos, no seas candela.
Ay, abuela, por favor.
Abuela, set the alarm for 9 a.m.
Levántate, niño.
¡Ah!
Las 10 de la mañana.
Son las 7.
Para de ser dormilón y ponte los pantalones. Abuela, how do you make rice? Niña, pero tú no sabes cocinar el arroz todavía. ¿Quién se va a casar contigo? Qué pena.
Hey, Abuela,
Tell me a joke.
Ah, sí, un yolk. Sí, bueno, la yema de huevo se puede usar para muchas recetas. Por ejemplo.
Joke. Joke.
Pero niño, háblame claro.
Un chiste.
Ay, un chisme. Bueno, tú sabes que your aunt, when she married your uncle, said she was still a virgin. But she was divorced 2 times. Bien mentirosa tu tía.
Abuela, what should I get my suegra for her birthday?
A esa vieja no le compres nada. Que tú sabes que el año pasado te compró una chuchería del Dollar Tree.
Bien tacaña esa vieja.
Abuela, what's the temperature like outside?
It is 72 degrees. No salga por la calle en cuerusa. 72 degrees is enough to put on a sweater.
Whoa! Yes! Yeah! Yes! Woo. Abuela, play some jams.
No, abuela, música de fiesta.
All right. Hey, congrats to us. No. So that's the first video of the 5. Now Kevin and I are going to be taking questions right now. It could be any question, but specifically if you have any pertaining to this sketch, now is your chance. If we like your question, we will drag it onto the screen for everybody to see. If you want to say anything, Kevin, while I'm just awkwardly staring at the comments coming in.
I want to point out that this video, I helped on it and I worked on it, but I didn't work on it to the capacity that we work together now. I had just moved here and I was just helping you out. And we were still at that phase where I would like suggest things and you might include them. So to me, it was my scene. Jenny did everything that day. She like had all the locations, all the actors. She was directing. And to me, it was like eye-opening how much she was just like producing that day. And it was inspiring. But yeah, I don't want to take any credit for this video aside from a few little things. I think the only thing I can take credit for is the telling Riza, don't get involved with 2 boys, like that was like, because I thought it was fun, but no, I love this video and I'm very proud of it, but I can't take, I don't want to take any credit away from Jenny. This is like 98% her,
Well, you're very kind, Kevin. Thank you. I think this was actually, I don't know where to drag these comments. I apologize. I'm playing around with them. But I do think that was one of the first videos that you and I had worked together. It was like early on. And so to answer some of the questions here, Steve Woodland asked, do you write your own subtitles? They are as funny as the dialogue. Yes. I know how it's extremely important to include subtitles, and not just subtitles, but captions in your videos for the disabled community. I have a lot of friends who are, fans who are deaf and hard of hearing, and they appreciate the captions. And I think this goes to anybody who's watching right now who happens to be a content creator. I just implore you to include captions. And if you don't have the time, there's also like software and like different companies that do it. I personally like to embed the captions myself into the video while I'm editing on Premiere. And so I think like later on I started to play around with the captions and be a little more silly with them. And once I started noticing that people actually paid attention and liked it, I continued to do it, and it's like its own little thing. So that's that. And then Jenny asked, "Wait, what was that?" I'm like dying.
Well, can I point something out about the captions? Is that they're not in the script. So whenever the video is released and Jenny's written all these subtitles, it's an extra treat for me because I know she's just coming up with them as she's doing it, but they're not part of the script. They're 100% her as she's editing. So
yeah, it does all come to me when I'm editing. I just like it that way. I don't know. it's hard to write a script. You know, I think most writers you talk to don't actually like writing. But once you finish, it's a great feeling. And so that's why I don't really think about caption writing until afterwards. Um, so Jenny asked, how is the process of making videos and how long does it take? It depends how many characters I'm playing, right, Kevin?
Yeah, it depends. Usually we'll shoot one day. Most of the stuff that we do, we'll do in one day. Few times we try to do it over 2 days. But we'll usually, even if it's a 12-hour day or whatever, we'll do it in one day. But yeah, it could go between, at minimum, 4 to 5 hours, something simple, to like 12 hours. Any of the big sketches like the Thanksgiving or the either the Thanksgiving ones have been like full 12-hour days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, no. They're very long days. And we're a very small crew, I might add. For those wondering, I don't have a big production company. It's just me, Kevin. I'm pointing the wrong way. I'm like, Kevin's over here, my screen. Kevin and either our good friends, Christina Cropper or Ernie Prieto, who switch off on shooting different videos. And that's about it. So Kevin's helping me both direct and running sound. And it's like, that is how tiny we are. And then I go off and I edit my own videos. And then Kevin and I write a lot of the sketches together. So that's pretty much the process. And now to answer Brenda Martinez's question, can you please clarify for me, are Flor, Gloria, and Marucci all Abuela's daughters? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Abuela only had daughters.
Yeah, but it didn't start that way, right?
No.
Because originally you had Abuela, and then you created the Marucci character, and I think you created Loretta just for that one sketch. Or I don't know the process of when you created the characters, but she wasn't necessarily Abuela's daughter then.
No.
And then we're gonna do a Flor video later, and there's a story behind that one about how like it was actually supposed to be Flor calling up Marucci, but they weren't sisters.
Yeah.
They were just two moms. So the kind of making them all related came organically, but originally they were all just separate characters.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's like a lot of it, I call it just happy accidents. Like sometimes, a lot of people call me out on this, but one of the very first videos that I made with all these other characters like Marucci and Tia Gloria, it was like a tias during Christmas or something like that. And so at the time, Gloria was talking about a Jaslani, but then we had made a sketch for Me Too back when I was working at Me Too, and like my friend Mimi played a character named Jaslani. And so back then, the character was Mimi as like this like chonga persona. But then once like we started figuring out like who Jaslani is, I didn't want Jaslani to match what people assumed her name would be attached to, or for her to be like a chonga. I wanted to bring a part of myself. I mean, if it's not obvious, like look at the earrings I'm wearing right now and the shirt. So Jaslani, the goth persona that she is very much who I am. I mean, I got married on Halloween, for crying out loud. And so, Sebastian's Adventures, here's your shout out. Woo! So I'm going to answer like maybe 5 more questions before we move on to the next video. What editing software do you have? I edit on Adobe Premiere Pro. And Kana's asking, please, I want to know what breed is Chuchi. So Chuchi, her real name is Dahlia. Dahlia. And she is mostly rat terrier.
I thought she was like Saint Bernard or something.
No, she's a super mutt. We did a DNA test for her, and we are planning on doing a video about her DNA test, so I don't want to give too much away, but she's mostly a rat terrier, and she's a good little doggo. And then here we go. Do you work acting outside of your YouTube channel, or is this your main acting gig? I do. I'm first and foremost an actor. I did theater my entire life since I was a little kid. Then I went to film school. I went to the University of Miami, graduated in 2011. And so I've been living in Los Angeles for the past 5 years. And Currently, I am on 2 animated series. One of them is already airing. It's called Victor and Valentino on Cartoon Network, and I play Lupe. And which, by the way, the second season is about to premiere soon. And the second show I cannot name yet because I just got cast and we just started production on that. So stay tuned for more news. What are you trying to say, Kevin?
That I know.
Yeah, Kevin knows. And what else? And then like I've been on Adam Ruins Everything. I had a small part in Gentefied as a reporter. So, but a lot of what I'm trying to do, I'm not really auditioning. I'm mostly focusing on voiceover, and then I'm trying to have a TV show. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's why Kevin and I and all of us who work on my videos are working extra hard because the goal is to eventually bring something like this to television. So that's why I'm not putting as much focus on auditioning for like TV roles. It's because I'm trying to just have my own show. You know what I'm saying? Okay. This is overwhelming and I love you all so much. I'm streaming right now to both Facebook and YouTube. And there are a lot of comments pouring in. Oh goodness, there's so much. I'll answer this question, and then I'll move on to the next video, and then we'll try our best to answer more questions. Lennon is asking, how was it filming the first video with Abuela? So I'm gonna take this real back. Abuela has lived on various social media platforms. One of the very first times that Abuela appeared on the internet was back when I was making content for an entirely different YouTube channel called Aggressive Comics. And it was a completely different audience. It was, mostly like millennial-aged white men watching my stuff because I was just a movie reviewer. I would review superhero, sci-fi, geek-centered films, talk about video games and comics. And so I felt like I was lacking in an area where I've always loved to do Latino comedy. And so I did a review of the movie Kick-Ass 2, and I introduced everybody to Abuela as a superhero. And that's kind of how it started. And then when we went to BuzzFeed, and I started making BuzzFeed videos, and we realized how there were barely any Latino producers, and there was no Latino content. And so I decided to bring Abuela to BuzzFeed, and that was horrifying because we didn't know how people were going to react. And I had a really bad wig at the time. And if I look back at those videos now, Abuela was severely underdeveloped, but people are really, really, they were really receptive to her. And that was the evolution of Abuela. She's lived on, again, Aggressive Comics, BuzzFeed, We Are Me Too, and now she's back on my own channel. I quickly saw a comment asking if Kevin and I are dating. Guys, women and men can be friends. I'm married. If you've watched my videos, the guy who plays Ezekiel and Benito is my husband in real life. So Flor and Benito are actually truly married. But we don't have a Michi. We have a dog.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say something, Kevin? I feel like you have like a comment
I was
you
gonna
want
say
to
Kevin
make.
and I are dating.
Yes.
Yeah, her husband and I are dating, but
Yes.
don't tell Jenny.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna play. Chewy, I see that you're watching. Bless your heart. Kevin. Oh, that's Christina saying that. Someone's saying you look Mexican. What are you, Kevin? What are you? So people know what you are.
We're gonna break the idea that I'm part of the family and I'm Cuban. I was born in Venezuela to Colombian parents. I was raised in South Florida my whole life, so I'm Cuban by osmosis. But that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
yeah. And we go way back. Kevin and I have known each other for a long time now. We both met each other in Miami. And the same thing, both people that we use in our videos to film our sketches are also from Miami. So we're all in this together. All right, so we're going to play the second video for you guys. And And this is actually the first video? Is it? No, wait. Was Marucci introduced in the Christmas video first? I think so. But this is the first
Marucci
real video.
was in the Christmas video first. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is technically not the first video we see Marucci in, but this is essentially Marucci's introductory video.
Te dije 2 veces, nena, que ese tipo me tiró pa'l side, tú sabes. Me tiró pa'l side, no le importa.
Are you the hairdresser?
Marucci, ¿ha llegado tu clienta?
Hola, mi niña, ¿cómo estás? Ay, qué linda. Siéntate.
Oye, Marucci,
¿Qué pasa?
¿oíste de Armando?
¿Qué está pasando con Armandito?
Bueno, se casó con la tipa de la esquina.
¡Ay! No me digas.
Ajá.
La que se roba los mangos.
Ok, mira, yo fui para Walmart, yo estaba en el parking lot y yo lo vi comprando Pampers.
Está embarazada.
¡Wow!
No lo puedo creer. Esa tipa sí está chiflada. Oye, niña, ¿tú sabes de tu amiguita Susan? La que she recommended you to me?
Oh, yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's very nice.
No te pongas mala. No te pongas mala.
Pero did you know que she used to be a swinger?
¡Nena, tú estás mala!
¡Escandalosa!
Ay, no, Marucci, no.
No,
Tú estás
pero
mala.
¿tú lo sabiste?
Lo sabiste. Lo sabiste,
Lo
ella
sabiste,
sabía.
sí.
Ella
Lo
sabía.
sabiste, tú lo sabías.
It's you know.
No, we're just friends at work. I don't know.
Bueno, it's just something I heard. ¡Qué lindo está tu pelo! ¡Wow! 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 ¡Pero wow! Ay, pero no me digas que esta niña otra vez me... ¡Larissa! ¡Ven acá, por favor! Oh my God, what do you want? I was watching Lion King too. Larissa, where'd you put my peine?
You swear that I always take your things. I didn't take your peine.
Si I know que tú tienes my peine.
I don't have your peine.
Pero qué mentirosa, mi
I
hija.
have the mitad de perales comb that tía Dahlia got me for my Kingston.
Oye, pero no me hables de la...
Is that your comb?
Ay,
You see? You're so stupid.
pero tú verás cuando paro de trabajar esta noche. So you want the cotton blow dry?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, I'm going to be using a spray because this sink is clogged. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, solamente agüita.
Mommy, where'd you put my tacones for a club?
Pero qué club ni qué club. Esta noche tú te quedas aquí en mi casa para limpiar porque mañana viene tía Gloria.
No freaking way. You promised that I could go to a club. You don't let me have a life.
Yo te di la vida descarada.
Mira. You want pink or purple?
I just scheduled a hair appointment.
¿Cómo que you just gonna do your hair pero leave your nails like caca? Déjame ver.
My nails aren't that bad.
Esa muchacha, mira, tiene dedos de salchicha.
¡Ay, la salchicha! ¡Larissa!
She's a very bad little girl.
Pero que te dije yo, apague el fogón, por favor, que ya se me quemaron las salchichas.
I'm tired of arroz con salchicha. I'd rather have a kid cuisine.
Oye, pero eres demasiada grandecita to be eating cake cuisine.
Vienna sausages smell like cat food.
Bueno, perfecto, porque the biggest gata here eres tú, que you only look out for yourself.
I'm not a misu, I'm a unicorn.
Y no pienses que I don't know, you club my sink con los pelos de la perra.
No te dejes engañar por lo que parece hermoso.
Ay, pero Dios mío, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I get that teenagers can be tough.
Teenager. Ha! She's 24 years old, mi vida.
Oh, well, I like her style. Mommy, where's the missing sock?
Pero here we go again con el misterio de las medias sin parejas.
But how can I wear my jellies with mismatched socks?
Oh my gosh, this feels like it was 1,000 years ago. You know, this reminded me, this is the first time people see Laritza. So this was actually the birth of Laritza, not the birth of Marucci, but this is where we really get to know all these characters. We get to know Marucci, we get to know Laritza, we get to know Fidelia. Super big kudos to Dani Alalis, who plays Fidelia, and to Kat Andrusco, who played the poor, unsuspecting client. They did such a great job. I am very lucky that I have a lot of friends who are fantastic and hilarious actors.
Yeah, I remember this was again the first kind of like sketch, like character sort of thing that we had done just for your channel. And I remember we still weren't writing together the way we do now, but I remember you were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have la peluquera, and then her daughter. And I was like, do we really need to see her daughter? Like, isn't there enough characters? And you're like, yeah, we need the daughter. We need the daughter. I was like, all right, like I guess so. So I thought it was like too much, which is it's a good thing. Like this is what I've learned. It's like
Kevin learned
Jenny's like
the hard way.
yeah, it's like you can't. It's never too much. You just got to keep pushing because you can do it. It would have been just as hard to make this sketch with Laritza without Laritza. You know what I mean? So I'm so glad that we did it because
Yes, me too. Oh, Zaid, someone thinks no, Laritza. Let me drag this over here. Zaid said 24, serious, so much talent and a genius. Well, thank you. I don't know if you're calling Laritza a genius, but we have decided that Laritza has no age, essentially. She's like, she can range from like late teens to early 20s. Because if we need a video that she needs to portray like a younger, like that high school video we did, we're like, screw it. Laritza's now in high school. But other times we want her to be that 24-year-old who acts like a teenager. So that's more or less what Laritza really is. But I am certainly not 24. Moving on. Who plays the customer in the video? That is my good friend Kat Andrusco. She's incredible. Look her up on Instagram. She's adorable. You won't regret following her. She's amazing. And then I've got over here. So Jenny, with which character of yours do you identify the most? Tia Gloria. Just kidding. She's actually the person I least identify with. I think it's a mix between Laritza, Jaslani, Michi, and Abuela. Because I'm like innocent and small like Michi, and I'm like, I'm pretty straight edge. Look, guys, I was playing Animal Crossing before going live, so I'm very much about the little tiki-tikis like Michi, And then, but I'm very much like Laritza with my attitude, and I say bro a lot, and I do like mac and cheese. And I am like Abuela in many ways, because I'm very much like my maternal grandmother, who the character is based on. I worry about everyone, and I have extreme anxiety, and I'm a Scorpio, like my Abuela. And, like, ask Kevin. I was just talking to Kevin earlier about the fact that I feel like I'm annoying all my friends around this time, the coronavirus. I keep checking in on everybody. I'm like, do you have groceries? Are you okay? Are you depressed? Talk to me. So that's how I
mean, you have many of those questions.
Okay,
so,
Kevin. Okay. So yes. And then who else? And then obviously Jaslani, because I have a dark side and I love all things Halloween and all things creepy and ghostly. So there's so many more questions. I'm getting.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
So my sister, my Michi age sister, is watching this on YouTube, but she can't ask because she doesn't have an account. But she wants to know what your how do you come up with your characters, and like what is your process of like coming up with their look and their voices and their accents, like all these different characters. Oh, her name is Karina, my sister Karina.
Okay, so Kevin's sister Karina has this question. I've gotten less and less scared about introducing new characters, even though it's been a while. If you guys haven't seen the last one of the last videos I released before all of this got crazy, I introduced a character who's not Hispanic, and her name is Darcy. Yes, I was inspired by Darcy from Married with Children as the name.
Darcy.
And she's just this very just non-Hispanic Anglo woman, very waspy, but not stuck up. So she's not like Tia Gloria, but she's not at all used to this Latino culture, like Flor showing her all the baby teeth and the umbilical cord stump and all these disturbing things that a lot of Latina moms and ethnic moms tend to save from their children. And so I'm going to be bringing this character back. But I remember when I had to introduce like the other characters after Abuela, I was freaking out because no one would like any other character that wasn't Abuela, because I had been doing Abuela alone for like a while, and it was because I was working at these other companies and I couldn't bring other characters on board, or else they would own the rights to these characters. I thankfully already owned the rights to the Abuela character, which is why I was able to keep her, thank goodness, after BuzzFeed. So that's that. But in terms of like becoming the characters, I think what helps me the most is when I put on a wig. The wig to me helps me transform the easiest. I love shopping for my characters. I love going to thrift stores. I love finding little knickknacks. This office that I'm in right now, which I'm going to be releasing a video soon, because back in October, I did an organization video where I hired a professional organizer to organize my office that's filled with wigs, costumes, and props, and film equipment. And so that's how much I care about being authentic, not only to the characters, but to the space, to make people feel like they are inside an Abuela's home in Miami. And so every time we have a shoot, Kevin and I and Christina, we all kind of turn my apartment upside down and make it look as authentic as possible. So I'm not sure if that fully answers the question, but that's why I feel awkward when people ask me, like right now, if someone were to be like, can you imitate Abuela? I feel weird because I'm not dressed as Abuela and I don't feel like Abuela. And I don't think even me trying to do the voice is gonna come off authentically. I have to be dressed as and once I'm in the full garb, my body language changes, my voice changes, my facial expressions change. So for me, that's of the utmost importance. Caesar asked, who is your favorite character from your comedy sketches? I have a couple answers to this. I think Abuela will always be my favorite character because not only was she the first one, but she's based on my real maternal grandma who passed away 3 years ago, and she had a huge hand in raising me. She's the reason why I know how to speak Spanish as well as I do. She's the reason why a lot of these videos even exist, is because of being, around her so much growing up, around her and my abuelo. And so she'll always be my favorite for that reason, and it's why I continue to make videos with her, because it's like keeping my grandma's legacy alive. But my favorite character to play, I think it's a toss-up between Flor and Loretta, because I love physical comedy. And I think that's something we don't see often enough these days. And I grew up watching I Love Lucy and The Carol Burnett Show and, Buster Keaton and these comedians that utilize their bodies to be funny. And I feel like Loretta's mannerisms and Flor's mannerisms, for me, are so much fun, but they drain me. They absolutely... Kevin, when you're working on something with me and it has to do with Loretta, I'm like depleted after that. Because there's so much going on. She's like, her face, her body, everything is just a lot. So, but those are my two. Okay, so Kevin, we can't ignore this. A lot of people keep asking, who is Migdalia?
Yeah. I had to. Well, I think I had a conversation with somebody about this because there was a different character. They confused Migdalia with a different character name, and I'm like, who is this character they're talking about? But Migdalia was in your Tia's video, right?
Yes, Tia Migdalia was introduced in that What Tias Say During the Holidays video.
And then that video, at that point, none of these characters were related. They were just random.
Yeah, they were just
Tias.
random Tias. I was like, okay, I guess I'll throw this wig on and become this character.
And then Marucci and Gloria became related. So I think people assume that the other Tias in there are also related. But I always say, like, they're not necessarily related. Like, they might be, like, a great aunt. Or they might be, like...
Or, like...
Sometimes we call Tias people who are, like, our neighbor, you know?
My best friend has 2 kids, and they call me Tia Jenny. And I'm not related to her in any way.
And I have a bunch of nieces and nephews, and none of them call me uncle. So...
I mean, if you guys really like Tia Migdalia, I think I'm just on the fence about her because she's not a fully developed character.
Porque ella habla poquitico, sí, tú sabes, porque ella es bien chismosa.
That's all I know. Like, she just talks like that, but there's nothing to her yet. So I'm just like, But we'll see. Maybe we'll bring her in. Who knows? If hopefully this is over before Thanksgiving. What happened?
Somebody wants to know who my character is, and I think Jenny knows who my favorite character is.
Oh, Kevin's favorite character is Marucci.
Like, you guys know, in, like, Family Matters, like, there was, like, not that Jenny's Urkel, but there was, like, Urkel, and then he'd get into that cabinet, that machine, he'd come out, he'd be Stefan Urkel, and he was like, and then Laura really liked Stefan Urkel. That's, like, when Jenny becomes Marucci, I have such a crush on that character. Not on Jenny, but on that character.
Yeah, on the persona of who Marucci is.
Yeah, she's just like, I don't know. Like, I would like to meet a real life. If there's any real life Maruccis out there.
Any cougars who, now that Tiger King is out. But, you know, it's funny. I wish I had the confidence of Marucci. When I play Marucci, I'm like, damn. Nothing gets by this lady. She doesn't care. She's just says it how it is. She's very confident in herself, and I'm not that confident, guys. But no, she's like at another level, y'all. She's at another level. I love Marucci. I wish we could all be like Marucci, right? What is the name of your teacher character? And will you do more videos with her? Maybe an online class.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, her name is Miss Robin, right?
Her name is Miss Robin, but she's actually wearing the same wig that Tia Migdalia wears. First of all. Second of all, I kind of gave her voice over to the Darcy character. So they have the same voice. That it's like, oh, okay. Okay, that's great. I don't understand. And so Kevin and I still don't know where we're at with that because it's like, did this teacher get a haircut and dye it blonde and then that's the same character, or are they 2 separate characters and now we got to figure out a different voice for the teacher and a different wig because essentially like she was borrowing a wig from another character. So sometimes it be like that. I don't have time to buy a whole new wig for a character that might never come back. And so I'm not going to spend that kind of money. So we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen to that teacher.
Online classes, we've talked about doing that sketch. And I suggested using Miss Robin, so.
Tia Gloria is my favorite. Does that make me a bad person? No. I feel like you can like a really bad character because they're so bad. They're just Tia Gloria is the culmination of a lot of women that I knew growing up in Miami, and one of them was specifically in my family, not an aunt. But it brings me great joy to put this character out there because it's my way of venting my frustrations with women like this.
The next one.
Well, Steve Woodland is saying Darcy's a great character. Thank you. I plan to utilize her a lot more. For those of you who did watch Que Pasa USA, they did have like the gringa, you know, non-Hispanic white character, and so it made it funnier every time she would walk into the house and things were like, what? You kind of always have to have that observer, you know what I mean? Like making just observing the for them it's weird, like that what we do, our traditions, how loud we are, cultural, the language and stuff like that. So one more question. I'm going to take this question before the next video. Why doesn't Laritza have a dad? She can ask him to make her mac and cheese instead of her mom?
She does have a dad. We just don't see him.
So Marucci's twice divorced.
Did we? Yeah, was it twice or?
I think we came to that conclusion. She's twice divorced.
Yeah, it was twice.
Laritza's dad is named Armando, and Armando. There was a video that we released last year with a friend of mine, Liza Quinn, who plays Janet, and Janet and Marucci connect over like a 23andMe type of website that they're like, oh my God, we're long lost cousins. And so they meet, and it turns out that Janet and Marucci are almost identical in the way they dress, in their behavior, the way they talk. And then Marucci finds out that Janet is dating her ex-husband Armando. But we haven't introduced Armando yet.
It's just, I think what people don't realize is that it's kind of like the Abuela Amazon video. There are so many actors in that, right? And then as we kept making videos, we realized it's really hard to coordinate a bunch of people. And that's why we started doing Jenny as a bunch of characters, because it was just easier to have her. So we still bring in other people, but sometimes it's hard. So we have to like find like somebody to play Armando. Like, I don't think we want it to be David again. I don't know, but we have to figure it out to like bring in another person and make sure they're going to stick with it. So we're really cautious about bringing in other characters sometimes because there's a lot that goes into whether or not they'll continue, you know?
Yeah. Okay, one more. I have two questions for you. Why does nobody know Kevin? And what gave you the idea to make Jazlani a goth? Do you want to answer the Kevin portion, Kevin?
Yeah, I think, and a lot of people are also asking, like, who's Kevin's mom? Who's Kevin's mom? Like, we're going to tell them here and not in a video. You know what I mean? It's not a secret. It's not like we know or like we've said it and we're hiding it, or like, it's just, we don't even know. Honestly, like, we have ideas, but until it's like the right thing, we're not going to like put it. So it's like, we don't know who Kevin's mom is. He has a mom. I think we showed her in the text in my video. And it seemed mean because she didn't recognize Kevin. But my idea is that her phone got lost and she didn't have his number saved or whatever. So it's just bad timing. But who is Kevin? The idea originally with Kevin, and this was all Jenny's idea too. I was just the only person that could play that part. The idea with Kevin was that we all have these cousins that we don't know. You know, that we're like, how do I know you? Like, and it's not the idea that like they're ostracized. It's just that like your moms and your dads are like, say hi to your cousins. And you're like, who are you? Like, I've never met you. How can you be my cousin? I've never met you. And I think it's just because I played him so kind of like sad, like, you know, that we have that running joke that everybody forgets him. But yeah, the reason they don't remember is just because he's like a distant cousin who they don't immediately know. But I think our idea is that he's going to be in the videos more often, and then he's just going to become a regular part of it where they like, oh yeah, Kevin, we still don't know who Kevin is related to, but here he is. He's part of the family or whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a long answer.
And that's pretty much how it happened. And you, Kevin, you told me that the Quien Carajos Kevin, was that improvised? I'm forgetting now. Was that improvised or was that in the script?
I know that the other part, I know the part with, I've literally never seen you a day in my whole life. That's in the script.
Yeah.
In Get House Kevin might have been, we might have to look back at the script, but that might have been an improvised. You just Marucci coming out of you. That's such a perfect Marucci line.
¿Quién carajo es Kevin? We had no idea this was gonna become a thing. We had no idea that people were gonna love the running gag of Kevin.
You know what I think it was? I think it was originally. I think originally we were gonna have the thing where like Laritza meets like a cousin she's never met before, and the joke was like, "Oh, there's some guy there." And I think later I was like, "Why don't we have him sitting at the table, but we don't see him until somebody points him out?" And then Laritza's like, I don't know, you know. So like I think that was what was kind of improvised, and that was like added in later, where like Flor, because at one point Flor says, "Go sit with your boyfriend." It's because Flor doesn't know who Kevin is. She also thinks that Laritza brought her boyfriend. Yeah. So I think that wasn't necessarily improvised, but we just added it in as we were shooting. We're like, let's keep him in and make him even more embarrassed because he's the only person at the table that like nobody even recognizes, you know?
I know. Yeah. This has become like a hilarious monster. And okay, so, and then the second part of Tiffany's question is, what made me think about making Jaslaney a goth? And it's because we didn't want, okay, so Jaslaney is like a super Miami Cuban type name, okay? I went to school with like Ayarelis, Osmanis, like, you know, it's very like Russian-centered, Cuban-esque names. I'm horrible at explaining this. But so Jaslaney, and I was like, you know what? I like to surprise my audience if I can. Some things are predictable. But we were like, you know what? We wanted to make sure that whoever Gloria's daughter was, because again, Gloria was for a long time, for almost an entire year, she would talk Jaslaney up as if she was like the next president of the United States. You know, like Jaslaney went to Harvard, Jaslaney did this, Jaslaney did that. She's in Japan teaching Japanese kids English. She's doing this, she's doing that. And so it's like, I think she's lying about a lot of this. And so we wanted to make sure that whoever her daughter was would be very much the opposite of what Gloria paints her out to be. So either she was going to be a super chonguiti girl, or she was going to be like punk, rock, goth, something that someone like Gloria would not approve of, okay? And we didn't want to, again, because Jaslaney is such a, you know, very Miami Cuban name that I felt people would predict that she would be like a chonga type. We're like, you know what? No, I don't know how we did it, or how, if it was I don't even know sometimes.
Last time we were operating under the assumption that we were gonna reveal her to be like this ratchet girl. And I think at one point we just said, what if it wasn't? What if we don't give people what they think they're going to get? And I think part of it's also like we just didn't want to have a character like that. Like it would have been exhausting for you to play this like ratchet girl all the time. And I think we thought about like, what is another thing that like Latin parents kind of disapprove of? Like, not, you know, if she's hiding something, like, what is she hiding her? Like the idea was that she's always talking her up, and then it's like, oh, where is she? She's like, oh, she's not here. She's out of the country. And we're like, if it's not about her being kind of very like trashy, then what could it be? And like, you know, like Jenny said, she's a little bit spooky and gothy. And I've had friends who, when I grew up, were goth. Oh, that's what it was. I remember my best friend growing up, my best friend Diego. Wasn't the inspiration, but this is part of it. My best friend, like straight A student, he was like salutatorian, and his name was actually Gloria, was also like very nice and proper and very pretty, and like she made sure. And then he went through a goth phase, and I could tell at that age that she was like, oh my god, like she just didn't want to have it. So I think that was part of it, was like the combination of Jenny kind of already being kind of spooky and gothy, and then me knowing that like that sort of thing, some Latin moms really dislike that. And I think ultimately we wanted to have a good character. Like I think we decided that Gloria wasn't lying about Jaslaney. Jaslaney's very accomplished and she's a very good person. Gloria was embellishing, like she's in Japan. Like she is in Japan, but she's doing something else. She's not like feeding pandas. She's like going anime, you know. So we just really wanted to have like a fun character, and I don't think we were gonna have fun with you playing some like, or having somebody come in and play a Chongalicious girl, you know, like there's already the Chonga girls. We don't need,
and they're great. So why exactly, like Mimi and Laura do such a great job with the Chonga girls. I didn't want to just do another Chonga, you know. And so, yeah, and also it's just representation. You know what I mean? I myself, as an actor, have issues going to auditions, and they look at me and like I can tell that they don't know what to do with me because I sound like Latina, but I don't look Latina. I'm very small. I'm not curvy. Yo la verdad, I am in the body of a 12-year-old boy, and that's fine. My body's great, but according to Hollywood, it's not Latina enough. And so then, and it's beyond just my looks, it's also who I am. Like, I'm dorky, I'm geeky. You know, I'm not the norm of what Hollywood tries to portray all Latinas as, which is frustrating. And I'm like, you know what? There are a lot of geeky and spooky and goth Latinos out there. And that's why I decided, finally, I was like, she's gonna be goth. Because we exist. You know what I mean? And so since I don't get to see it represented often, with the exception of Los Spookies, thank you, Fred Armisen, you know, so I was like, let's do this. Let's make her goth. So I know that's a lot of information, but
it's been super fun with Jess Laney. I think at one point we were like, let's make her goth, and we're like, no, we can't do that. And then we were like, then the more we thought about it, the more excited we got about it, but we really didn't know how people were going to react. We thought people might be like, oh, like, why is this girl like that? Or like, is she, you know, but people love her. Because
I think it's reasonable to worry about this sort of thing because obviously Latino internet content creators, you know, the main shtick is like, let's do the Latina mom character. And let's make her angry all the time. And let's make her have a towel on her head and get angry at the kids. And like, I get it. Like, Flor is very much like that. Abuela has certain elements like that they love to clean. And they're very, like, intense. And they get angry. But that's not all of what we are. And so that's why Marucci is who she is. She doesn't know how to cook. You know what I mean? She doesn't care to really clean. She's not that type of Cuban mom. And those moms exist. Like, again, it's a spectrum of personalities. We're not just one type of person. So
somebody in the YouTube comments, I'm going to call them out. Somebody literally just, or maybe a little while ago, wrote, why doesn't Jess Laney act like a Latina? And that's like the sort of thing that we're like, she's Latina. And like, I'm Latino. I don't act like people think I'm like, back in my head was like, you know, oh, you're not Latino enough. But, you know, you learn that it could have very different things. I have like three sisters, and they're all different from each other, and they're all Latinas in their own way, you know?
Yeah. So, again, people have told me the same thing. How come you speak that way? I'm like, what way? What are you talking about? What is happening? Okay, so we need to be able to embrace all Latinos, no matter what skin color they have, or if they speak Spanish perfectly or all. You know, you don't know someone's backstory. You don't know why someone does or doesn't know Spanish, but it doesn't make you any less proud of where you come from. Doesn't make you any less Latino or Hispanic. And that just also applies to the way you carry yourself, the way you dress, the way you talk, what musical interests you have. You are a unique individual, and that doesn't make you any less, insert whatever ethnic background you are, whatever nationality you are. So, okay. We're gonna play the next video. Thank you for all of you who have been sticking with us. It's already been an hour. So we have a couple more videos. I'm gonna play this one.
Pero qué coincidencia. Mira.
No, tú sabes, estoy aquí for my monthly check-up.
Sí, qué bueno. Unlike you, I came here for serious business. My Juanete.
¿El qué? ¿Se te cayó un arete?
No, chica. My bunion is swollen. I can't walk.
Ay, chica, eso no es nada. Ayer yo tenía que aumentar los miligramos de mi pastilla de la presión porque me salió tan alto que casi me desmayé en el Walmart. Eso sí da miedo.
Ay, niña. niña. A todo el mundo le sale la presión alta. La mía está tan alta que está baja. You know what is scary?
¿Qué?
Mi glaucoma. Estoy ciega. I literally can't see anything.
Sí, está ciega.
Sí.
No puede ver nada.
Nada.
No.
Nada.
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 No. Nada.
Ah, déjame ver. Can you see this?
What are you talking about?
No. Déjame ver.
What is that sound? Oh, is my phone ringing?
No ve los cacheticos tan lindos el perro.
No. Hay un perro. ¿En dónde? ¿En dónde está el perro?
¿Y esto? Todavía no puede ver nada.
No, no puedo ver nada.
No, mis uñas pintadas, tú no lo ves.
No, no lo veo.
Ah, entonces sí, de verdad está ciega.
Sí.
Es muy impresionante that you can get around tan ciega así, pobrecita.
You know what it is? My hearing is excellent. I can hear anything and everything with my eyes closed.
Mirta. 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 Mirta.
¡Ay! ¡Ay!
¿A ti qué te pasa?
¡Ay, mi artritis!
¡Ay!
¿Qué te pasa? ¿Qué te
Ay.
pasa a ti? ¿Qué te pasa? No grites. ¿Qué te pasa, niña?
¡Ay, tengo gas!
¡Qué embustera tú eres!
¡Ay!
You can stand the fact que yo tengo más enfermedades que tú.
¿Tú ves eso? Está rojito. Lo ves que está rojito, ¿verdad? Yo no lo puedo ver, pero yo lo siento. Last week, I fell getting up from my bed. Mira. Eso es dolor.
Bueno, ayer yo me caí sacando la basura. Sí, así.
Yo hoy me caí llevando a la perra a orinar.
Sí.
Sí.
Yo me caí ahora mismo.
¿Qué?
Ahora mismo me caí.
No, you didn't.
Ahora mismo me caí al
No,
piso.
I didn't see nothing.
¿Qué?
Yo no te vi.
Sí.
Yo no te vi.
Sí.
Tú sí eres embustera.
Sí, porque tú eres más ciega que José Feliciano. Te olvidaste. Te olvidaste. That's why you didn't see. O sea, no me viste, pero yo me caí y me levanté como San Lazo. Así. Sí.
¡Ay!
¡Ay! ¡Ayúdame! ¡Por favor!
Of course, someone comments, ¿quién carajo es el doctor? Oh. All right. That one was a blast. I will tell you, I love acting with Laura, who plays Mirta. And for those who haven't put it together, Laura Di Lorenzo is one of the Chonga girls, and she plays Abuela's frenemy, Mirta. So if anybody has any questions pertaining to these Abuela one-upping videos, now is your chance. And also, I apologize to those who have been saying that the stream has been a little glitchy or spotty. Unfortunately, I think it's just dependent on like internet connection, and because of the quarantine and the lockdowns, I think a lot of people's internet connections aren't the best because everyone's on the internet. Yes, I agree. Cosette Alvarez says Laura is fantastic. I love it. I love acting with her. Laura and I actually just filmed a FaceTime conversation between Abuela and Mirta. I'm releasing it tomorrow. So that should be interesting because, again, because Kevin and I and Christina and Ernie can't physically be in the same room together right now to work on these bigger videos, we have to get creative and do things on our own. And so I've been doing some of these FaceTime type videos, like the one that I made with Michi and Abuela. Silly is asking, will there be more of the one-upping each other? Absolutely. We kind of did it with the video that's coming out tomorrow. Obviously, not in this elaborate style of shooting because, again, until this situation is over, my content isn't gonna look the same. That's why Kevin and I have been doing these like live streams, and I think the next live stream I'm gonna do is gonna be Jocelyn reading Coraline, and I'm back on TikTok. Again, trying to make the best of the situation, trying to keep people laughing and entertained during this time. Because laughter really helps boost the immune system. And so, but yeah, unfortunately, we won't be able to bring you any more of these extremely elaborate videos because we can't work together right now physically. We're being good citizens and staying home. Liliana asked, do they have a backstory of their rivalry? We haven't tapped into that yet. But this is something that Laura and I have talked about, and we think it would be really funny to go back in time to when they were friends, in their 20s, 30s, and see how the rivalry began. And it's funny because they're friends, right? Like, they go to church together, and they go to, like, quinceañeras together, and, they do stuff together like friends, but then they hate each other. Like, so it's a love-hate relationship. But because I also want to bring this character universe to television, I'm at a place right now where I'm not sure what I want to bring to my internet videos or if I want to keep some of these ideas for the big picture stuff.
And Mirta, we talked about this. Mirta is younger than Abuela, right?
Yeah, not by like a whole lot, but she is like, I would say 6-7 years younger.
Yeah.
Maybe even more, but not by too much. Let's see. How long have Mirta and Abuela been competitive or competing? It all started when me and Laura, we were working together at Mitu, and when you work at a digital media company, you have to it's the same thing when you work for yourself. It's just you have to constantly be coming up with new ideas. And I was like, okay, I don't know exactly what triggered this idea for me, but I know that Laura's such a great character actress, and she's equally as good at playing older women, that I thought it was just a natural possibility for us to be like these like one-upping abuelas. So the very first Abuela's one-upping video was for Me Too. And it was a very basic, like, Abuela's one-upping about whose grandkid is the best. And the video did so well that it kind of spawned a bunch of other ones. Like, again, Abuela's one-up at church, Abuela's one-up at La Clínica, Abuela's one-up at a quinceañera. There was Abuela's one-up about Lent. I might be missing one more. I think we did one with Mimi, a pregnancy one. But that is
the Lent, yeah.
The Lent one, yeah. So we definitely want to do more. But again, right now we can't because of the current situation. If If you want to add anything or say
Um,
anything, Kevin, while I scroll through.
I think for that video, a little background. I actually live right by where we shot that play. That dentist. That was a dentist office that we used as a doctor's office. We always try to shoot on location if we can, but it's hard. So a lot of times it's just in the house, but sometimes we'll look out and we'll find a location, and that's always fun. So that was a dentist office, and in Silver Lake, and then again, the reason I was a doctor was because I was the only other person there. If not, I wouldn't have been the doctor. And it's not like Primo Kevin is also a doctor, and that's not necessarily Primo Kevin's dad. That's just like a random guy, I guess.
Yeah.
I know people ask that sort of stuff. They're always like, "That's Kevin," or "That's his dad," But it's just, like you can play 12 characters, but I can only play one.
Yeah, that's kind of how it happens. Okay, so then Eileen is asking, does your husband enjoy playing Benito? Does he ever go off script with his character? Oh, absolutely. So my husband and I, David Gallegos, we met back in 2007. We were in a play together at Miami-Dade College Theater. And yeah, we've been together for a long, long time. And so we've always worked together. We've done all kinds of theater together, did a bunch of plays. And so I'm so happy that he is now in my character universe as both Benito and Ezekiel. And we're planning so much more. And we would have already like premiered these other characters that he wants to play if it wasn't for freaking COVID-19. It's really unfortunate because there's other surprises in store, other characters he's going to be playing. But in terms of Benito, he loves playing Benito. He's based on a family member of his. And my husband is half Puerto Rican, half Peruvian, but he based it on a non-related Cuban, I guess, sort of uncle of his. That's like tío político is what they say. So it's really funny. And then he kind of has some elements of my real dad. So my real dad is a super snacker. And so that's why Benito's always snacking on things, because that's based on my real dad. And so, David is an excellent improviser. And so a lot of what Benito says and does is also off book. Actually, what a lot of us do, when me and Laura do the one-upping videos, we're always improvising. As someone who also likes to direct, when we work with other actors, like when we work with Danny as Fidelia, when we work with, my husband as these characters, or Laura as Mirta, I am all about, let's say what's on the script, and then let's move on and try an improvised version. Or I let the actors have fun and like go, say what's on their minds, because a lot of the time you get hilarious moments because of improv. So I am super team improv when it comes to not only my own acting, but the acting coming from all the other characters. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, there's so many comments. You guys are amazing. Well, this is funny. Whenever you do outside shots, it always looks like South Florida. Okay, so Kevin and I no longer live in Miami. I've been living in LA for a little over 5 years now. What about you, Kevin?
It's going to be 3 years this August.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we do our very best to make sure that you can't tell that this is filmed in California, but actually when you step outside of my apartment, it's like mountains.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to avoid the mountains and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of elements to California that remind us a lot of Florida. You know what I mean? Palm trees and all, even though they look different. But yeah, we live in Hollywood.
I think the hard part when we shot the quinceañera video, not the quinceañera video, but the home video or whatever at the beach, was that it was finding a beach here that doesn't have cliffs. And then we went down to Long Beach, and then we're like, well, there's kind of a cliff, so let's shoot out to the water. But then shooting out to the water, you see the Queen Mary, and we're like,
I know it's especially hard to film beach scenes here.
I think I found the perfect beach here. But
Okay, good, because we have a beach sketch in mind that we wanted to do last summer. Hopefully, we can do it this summer if we can leave our freaking houses. But okay. We got a question here from Olivia. Are you ever gonna make a video with Tia Gloria's husband that's always in Tahiti? So,
well,
we kind of gave a little bit of a hint, right? That Tia Gloria's husband is coming back. If you watched our last big sketch that involved all 7 characters dealing with coronavirus and the quarantine, at the very end of the video, we have a little piece where Tia Gloria gets a phone call from what many people assume is her husband. We're not confirming that it's her husband.
She gets a call from somebody that she refers to as honey.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all we're...
That's all we're going to tell you right now. That's all we're going to tell you. You're going to have to just stick around and stay subscribed if you want to find out.
All we're going to say is that it's kind of like the Ghislaine thing. We're like, we're not going to give you what you think we're going to give you. And we very purposely try to not just give you what you expect the joke's going to be. So if you think that you're going to meet Gloria's husband and it's going to be a certain way, like if that seems obvious, it's probably not going to be that way. We're probably going to want to do it some other way, you know?
I know, and there's like so many things I want to do, but we can't do them yet, but we will be doing them, so stay tuned.
We have so much time now, we just can't get together.
Yeah, but we're going to use this time definitely to write.
Yeah.
At least so we don't waste time with that. So once this is all over, it's like, all right, we're going to have to get together for like a week straight and film everything. Okay, a question from Stephanie. My question is, it seems like your whole home is a house out of Westchester. Did you just decorate it that way with that old school Miami look and leave it like that year round?
I wish.
I also wish. I wish I can also unplug my computer right now and show you guys. Maybe I can. I guess I can. Because I'm staring right at it. So I have our second bedroom is essentially where I'm sitting right now is an office full of costumes and props and wigs and film equipment. And so ask Kevin, like me and David again, because we love everything spooky Halloween. We have like an entire wall dedicated to Halloween centered art that we've collected over the years from various like Comic Cons and such. And so that's why when you've seen some of the sketches from Marucci having her peluqueria here at home, I had to buy like a floral fabric that hangs behind her mirror because that's the wall where all of our Halloween art is. And obviously that's not a very abuela Westchester home setup. So like we have everything from kitchen decor. We even have frames. So right behind this couch, I have multiple like pieces of art that I've bought from Goodwills and stuff so that we remove some of the art from my wall and put up the fake art. Like we go to that extreme because I'm Jenny Lorenzo and I can't do things the easy way, carajo. You know, that's just how it is. So, no, we don't leave it like that year round. It's just every video we do. Even the bathroom, I have a whole bin full of that tacky pink alfombra toilet seat cover, the toilet paper doll. That's all in a bin. So every time we shoot in that bathroom, we have to redecorate the bathroom. And so on and so forth.
It's fun though. Like to me, I learned working with you the importance of set deck because a lot of people do that. They'll just shoot videos and it's like whatever. Like they don't care. And I've always been a lot about locations. I like shooting in locations and things being fun and different. But yeah, set deck is so important. Where are you going?
I'm gonna show them
I guess she's.
bins.
Oh, but yeah, if it. What's funny, what nobody's ever noticed is that the decorations are never in the same place. Like the framed art is always it's on this wall. Now it's on this wall, and somehow Marucci and Flora have the same like little doll and like you know. But
So
I don't know.
these I only was able to bring like some of the smaller bins because I'm not gonna take out the big bins. But here's an example, right? It's labeled home decor, and in here I have a bunch of little trinkets that I've purchased from, you know, dollar stores, little knickknack. These are little cositas that abuelas would save, like from a baby shower.
That's from the Snickers commercial, right?
Yeah, that's from the Snickers commercial. The un little angelito. I swear to you, my mom, I think most moms in the 90s went through a phase where like their bathrooms were entirely like glitter angels taking a nap. This was from when I was a kid, El Angelito de la Guardia. So my mom has actually lent me a lot of these things. And this is actually from my quinceañera.
What is that? A
It
cup?
looks like caca now, but
How can you drink out of that?
huh?
It's a cup, right?
Well, I mean, it's like for pretty. You can't really
It's for-
drink out of it, Kevin. So there's this little bin right here. Again, y'all don't even know. We go a little crazy when we make our videos.
I think the funny part that I just realized is we spent our whole lives in our respective houses with this decoration, probably hating it. And now as adults, every other week we're decorating a house with all of these sort of decorations. Like we couldn't get away from them. Now we're reliving it, you know?
Yeah. We saved CVS receipts. Because you never know when that's going to make a comeback in our videos. Mirta de Perales. We've got like old school nail polish. My grandma used to use this kind of nail polish back in Miami. So this right here is the beauty bin. Am I making y'all feel nostalgic right now? So a lot of these items we bring out when like Marucci has her like salon set up, or if we want to do a video pertaining to like beauty. A long time ago, I made a video where Abuela does like makeup and stuff like that. And we used all of those products, and so we hold on to them because we've actually used a lot of these items over and over and over again in various videos. So again, I'm gonna have a video coming out soon, probably early April, where I hire a professional organizer who helped me organize my entire office. So you're gonna really get to see everything, how everything is organized, and all the items that I've hoarded just for the sake of set design. Okay.
Here's a good question that somebody asked, Jenny, and you can answer this.
Okay.
What do your neighbors think about you screaming "Laritza" every 2 minutes? We've had this conversation.
Okay, so here's the funny part. So I live in a very small complex of only 6 units. And I kind of had an inkling that my neighbor, my front door neighbor, was Cuban because, and from Miami because his bumper stickers on his car were like all like Miami, you know, Florida Marlins, Dolphins, and then his kids would go are like play baseball. I'm like, of course, a Cuban father would definitely have their kids play baseball, and they would wear like Marlins, you know, stuff. And so one day I was hanging up Christmas lights and I got to talk to him, and he confirmed that he was from Hialeah, which is where I was born. So fast forward like to like maybe a year later, and I'm I'm at home and I'm getting my makeup done for an event. And all of a sudden, my Cuban neighbor, knocks on the door. He's like, you know, I don't know how old he is, but seems like he's in his maybe early 40s. And so he's knocking on the door, and I can't answer it. My sister gets the door, and he's like, hey, I want to talk to Jenny. And I'm like sitting at the table. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, I'm like, this is weird. So basically, he's knocking at my door to tell me that he just realized who I was, and that apparently he's been watching my videos forever and sending them to his sister in Miami. And then the daughter from the house next door, I think she's half Mexican, half white, non-Hispanic, and she starts jumping up and down behind my Cuban neighbor. She's like, oh my God, I know who you are too. So it was really interesting. And so now I'm not as embarrassed to do my sketches. And then I spoke to the woman next door. She's like a really sweet woman. She lives by herself. And I told her, listen, I'm an actor and a voice actor. So if you hear me screaming and grunting and making all kinds of noises, it's not that something serious is happening. This is my livelihood. She's like, no, I had a feeling. She's like, I had a feeling you were you were one of those people. So now I don't feel as pressured. Not pressured, but I don't feel as apenada, embarrassed about it. Because I'm like, oh.
Do you remember what the thing was that your neighbor saw that made him realize?
Oh my gosh, that's right. So, okay, so
was with Mario.
So I don't know if you all have seen this video that I did in collaboration with Mario Ramil, a really funny Miami Cuban comedian. And so Mario was visiting LA, and so he stayed with us, and we obviously made a sketch. And it's about him. He plays like un viejo named Maido, and he had like this rivalry with Abuela in Cuba. So a lot of the scene was filmed at my door, and like we get into a fight, and he like falls like in the middle of the whole thing. And so the reason why my Cuban neighbor finally realized that it was me, that I was Abuela, was because he was watching that video and saw his front door.
That's what it took.
So he was like, what? So I know. We have like hour-long answers to your questions, and I apologize. But it's like we haven't done a video like this ever, giving so much information and on 2 platforms. So thank you for tuning in. I think we have... Okay, so we have this video coming up. It's very short. And I'll tell you how I feel about this video when we're finished playing it. There's a little bit of a...
Mommy, I made a new friend in school today. Can I go sleep over?
Ay, qué lindo, sleep over. Where does she live?
Burr Road and 117.
And the mother, does she have a husband?
No.
Divorciada?
Yes.
Boyfriend?
No.
Primo? Tío? Brothers?
No.
Perro o perra?
I don't know.
Are there ghosts in the house?
I don't think so.
Do they rent or own? Do they lease a car? Do they have good credit?
I don't know, Mom.
Do they shop at Walgreens or CVS?
Okay.
Do they have a pool?
Uh-huh.
Does the pool have a gate?
Uh-huh.
Does the gate have a gate?
Uh-huh.
Do they have sharp objects anywhere in the house? Do they have trap doors? Do they have secret passageways? Do they have cable?
Yes.
Son santero?
No.
Are they Scientologists?
No.
Are they Presbyterian?
No.
Are they Baptist? Are they Satanic? Are they Teletubbies?
I didn't ask her.
Son católico?
Yeah?
Do they put the toilet paper over or under?
Why does that matter?
¿Cuándo fue their last physical? Univisión o Telemundo, Doctor Who o Harry Potter, croqueta o pastelito, arroz con pollo o arroz imperial.
It's just a sleepover.
Do they take their vitamins? Do they wash their face before they go to sleep? For here or to go? Oh, okay. Well, in that case, you can sleep over.
Okay, so...
What?
Hold on a second. I just want to make sure that because some of the comments started pausing on the eCam side of things, but I see that the comments are still coming in on YouTube.
I think we might have had a glitch.
If you guys can still see us on these respective platforms, let me know. Because on YouTube, I'm seeing comments that are repeated from the past.
But it does that. YouTube will just recycle top comments.
Well, I still see myself on Facebook, so on the eCam side, I'm not seeing any new comments coming in, but I'm seeing them coming in on Facebook, so... Okay, Facebook is good. Okay, thank you, Jana. I don't know what's happening. Kevin, I don't know if you can open the YouTube side of things and see the new comments coming in for questions.
Yeah.
A glitch. But, regarding the sleepover video... I think we shot 2 videos on that same day. And so, yeah, remember? Oh, sorry, I thought you... I'm, like, looking at 2 different screens.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I was... So I was in a really bad mood when we filmed the sleepover video because I was so tired. And I didn't think this video was going to do well. I'm like, whatever. Like, let's do it.
The idea was, the way we originally conceived it was that we were like, oh, let's do more videos with Marucci and Laritza. And like, so it was going to be something where like Laritza invited a friend over from school. And then Flor was that friend's mom. And we weren't going to show the kid. It was just going to be Flor calling up Marucci, asking her a bunch of questions. And Marucci being like, whatever. And I think we were just like, that's just too much. And then you came up with the Michi character.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, we're just gonna have to show the kid. Like we didn't. You had never shown Flor's kids before. You just hear her yelling at. So I think you were apprehensive about showing or creating a new kid character. But that was the only thing we could do. We weren't gonna do the whole elaborate Marucci because we also used to shoot Marucci stuff at a different house. Marucci used to live at a different house where Christina lived, and then Flor lived in your house. And we were like, we can't go all the way to Christina's house. So we were like, screw it, and we dropped Marucci, and then we created the Michi character, or you did, you know.
Yeah, so, yeah, the Michi character just came out of nowhere. I just threw on a random wig that I had and a random outfit and just went with it, and I was surprised. I was surprised that the video did as well as it did. It went super viral on every platform. And B, that people actually liked Michi. And I was like, okay.
There was a moment, because I really thought that you were going to I had only seen you kind of create 2 characters, Marucci and Laritza, and Flor was an existing character. I'm hearing myself. And then when I thought you were just going to put on a wig and just be like a kid, like, hi, I'm a kid, whatever. And you started doing Michi, and I remember Christina was shooting, and I was right behind her. And we're watching Michi on the screen, and we both looked at each other like, this character is legit. Like, this is a real person. Like, this is a little kid who has personality, who, like, you know, we knew, like, you were still unsure, but Christina and I were looking at this going, this is a new character that is going to stick. It was a real person. I don't know. Like, I still love Michi. I think she's the best, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm really happy that Michi was birthed. And so now she's a recurring character. So as you guys can see, there's like no rhyme or reason. Some characters are super thought out and planned, and then other characters just happen based on necessity and just, again, happy little accidents. I'm gonna play the last video, and then that'll be this is the last video, and then we'll do some last minute Q&A, and then we're gonna...
And this is my favorite video.
Peace out.
What my favorite video is, it's this next one.
Yes, this is the first video where I play all 7 of my characters in the same video. So, let's see here.
Oye, ¿y ese outfit?
What?
You're going to eat Thanksgiving dinner vestida así? como una whatever, ahí con los huequitos en los pantalones, like you got into a fight with a bear.
Bro, like, what's the point of getting all dressed up? Like, I'm going to a club just to sit in la sala, like.
Ponte algo nice, please.
Okay, Kris Jenner.
This is why you don't have a novio.
Loretta, will your boyfriend be joining us for dinner?
I don't have a boyfriend.
Ay, that's a shame. That's a shame because you know you're so young and this is the time to date. How old are you again?
I don't even know anymore, bro.
Bueno, you're so dressed up. It's refreshing to see, you know. It's nice to see you put on a dress for once because I was starting to wonder.
Thanks, Tia Gloria. I like your brooch.
I thank you. You know, Jaslene got this for me when she went on a trip to France and she visited the Eiffel Tower.
But isn't that a Christmas tree?
Tia Flor, is the food ready?
No! But I'm hungry.
I am not done cooking. Get away! Get up here! Close the refrigerator! Get out! Get away! You make me nervous! Please! Leave!
But it's already 8 o'clock. Like, by the time we start eating, everybody else in America is gonna be like sleeping or watching a movie with Tom Hanks in it.
Bye!
And we're like the only come mierdas eating super late. Like, why do we do that? Why do we do that? Like, why do we do
Did
that?
you know when young women are impatient, they get gas? You don't want gas on Thanksgiving.
Like, why couldn't you have started cooking like at 9 in the morning?
Go sit over there with your boyfriend. I don't have a boy.
Yeah.
Can I help you?
I'm your cousin, Kevin.
I have literally never seen you a day in my life. Did I prick my finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel, fall into a deep sleep, and wake up on Nochebuena? Because I don't see any stuffing. Pero sin novio, ¿cómo te va a despertar? Sleeping Beauty.
Ay, but abuela, where's the turkey?
Ay, no, el pavo es más seco que los americanos. Aquí se come puerco.
But we eat Cuban food like every day.
Oye, no me jodan el día de dar gracias.
Hey, whatever, at least it's not Cracker Barrel. Quepena.com.
Qué pena nada, they give tremenda comelata for only $10, incluyendo un pumpkin pie.
It was cool, I guess. They had like the rocking chairs and the checkers.
Oh, Larissa, is that your boyfriend?
Apparently, this is my cousin Kevin.
¿Quién carajo es Kevin?
Tia Gloria, is Jaslene coming?
You know Jaslene, she has such a warm and giving heart that she decided to volunteer at a shelter.
It's open. Hey, Jaslene.
Hey. I brought lentils. It's really high in fiber. It's better than cereal.
So, like, do you have a boyfriend?
Mm-hmm. But don't tell my mom, okay?
Oh gosh, that was
yeah.
a very long day. I think we've gotten, since that video, we got a lot better. Cause like that coronavirus video we just did with all 7 characters, we went through it like this, you know?
Yeah, but they weren't all in the same room at the same time.
That's true. I was like, why was it so hard? But yeah, like this Thanksgiving video and the one from 2019 were pretty dang difficult to film. Yeah. And if it wasn't for Kevin, I wouldn't know, oh God, what my eye lines are. People always ask, how are you, you know, are you acting against someone? Are you acting against yourself? And it's just me staring at the wall. I do see that I'm looking at Facebook and it says live video interrupted. Okay, so it's back. Yeah, I mean, on my end, it's showing that it keeps getting interrupted, but if you guys are still seeing us, then great. I guess we can keep talking and hopefully it catches up. But Cara Perez is asking, how long did it take to film that?
That was a long day. That was like maybe 12 or 15 hours. I don't know. We were there all day. It was our first time shooting with all the characters, and I don't know, it took us a long time. I think originally the idea for this video, because we've always, and we might still do it, we always wanted to do a baby shower or a quinceañera, it was baby shower video, where every single character that you've ever interacted with came in. And then this was like not supposed to be that. This was supposed to be like maybe Flor, maybe somebody hosting, and we were going to have a bunch of other actors. Like we wanted to have Andrew as a Theo, you know, and we just got down to the line where like we don't have the time or the people to have everybody, so we're just going to have you play everybody. And it just became the gimmick at that point of like, this is just a family get together, you know? But it took us a long time, but I don't remember it being that hard. I actually was really impressed with like how we just like, not breezed through it, but we just like did it. Like it wasn't complicated. We like, you know, made sure that everybody's looking in the right direction, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. It was something that we were all incredibly proud of, because it was so much work, and I think it's a tradition that we want to keep going every single year. We're gonna have a Thanksgiving, with the whole family, and there will always be surprises and drama and stuff like that, and that's something that we really want to focus on going forward. Obviously, once, you know, things get better in the US regarding coronavirus, and hopefully, again, the whole world, because the whole world is hurting right now over this. But once things get better and we're allowed to see each other again and work together again in person, you know, we really wanted to put a lot of our focus on the family more than ever, and in the drama and in the storylines and in the backstories and in the relationships between the characters, amongst the characters. You know, because coming from a place like BuzzFeed, your brain, you know, mentally you're constantly thinking, what's a viral frame, right? That's something we would always ask ourselves, like, what's gonna go viral? And it's so incredibly stressful, you know, thinking like, what is a topic that's gonna go viral? And those are great when they happen, you know, but at the end of the day, I think you guys, you know, our audience, care most about the characters and what's going on in their world. And so that's what we're going to focus on more versus like what's a topic that could go viral.
Yeah. And a lot of people earlier, or they were asking, I saw a lot of people saying, are you going to make more episodes of Pelocura? Where's Pelocura episode 2? All that sort of stuff. And people have been asking that for a year because we did it a year ago. And that was an interesting process because it was something that the people at Facebook kind of like initiated us on. They're like, you know, we're going to show you how to make something that's a little bit more like an episode of TV, even though it's not the same length. And we really enjoyed making it, and we're like, okay, we're going to make more, but it seemed daunting for us to like, have to come in and like come up with like 10 to 15 minute long thing every couple of weeks. And Jenny and I were talking about recently of saying, instead of doing that, instead of doing like big chunky episodes, we're just going to keep doing the same length videos, but make them more narrative. So instead of we'll still do like sketches, I think, that are like, oh, this is funny, let's do a funny sketch about this one topic and boom, boom, boom. But I think we're going to try to do videos that are like funny, but still story driven. So they're still like mini episodes. So instead of it's not a 30-minute sitcom, and it's not a 15-minute web series episode. It's like a 5-minute mini episode. But if you watch them all in a row, they tell a big story. And then we've kind of been doing that, but we've kind of been doing it in a sense of like, let's make a video with this joke in it. And then we kind of add in some family drama and we add in some narrative. And I think now we kind of want to do, what are the stories you want to tell with the family? And then we'll write jokes into them, you know? So I mean, hopefully once this is all done, we can focus on that. But I think that's what we want to do. So I don't think we're going to necessarily do like Pelocura episode 2. We're just going to do more videos that are going to continue that storyline in like 5-minute chunks instead of episodes, you know?
Yeah. And so we've been on the air, I guess, for like the past hour and a half. So we're going to wrap it up. But I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Everyone from Facebook and YouTube, and those of you who trickled in from Instagram. Hopefully Kevin and I will do one like this, obviously without the watch party element, but kind of do like a Q&A on Instagram. But this was a lot of fun, and we hope to do more watch parties like this in the coming weeks, considering where, you know, what's happening. We want to be able to go live more and hang out with you guys and stuff like that. So, and then we'll play some more videos and talk more about those videos in detail. And again, I really apologize for the buffering. I know some folks over at Facebook and YouTube were saying that it was buffering. And I guess the internet be like that sometimes, and bandwidth and all that.
If you guys have questions, like I know YouTube, Facebook, the questions that you're commenting, I'll stay. We can look at them. But on YouTube, they go away.
Yeah.
So if you're on YouTube and you have questions that weren't answered, go into the comments and ask them, and then like I'll go in there and do my best, or Jenny can go later and like try to answer them if it didn't get answered or whatever. Because I feel bad that there's people asking a lot of things, but like we can't get to everything. But the same thing in Facebook. Like I'll try to go in there and like answer some questions if it's something that I can answer.
Yeah, it's really silly. I don't know why YouTube does that, but when you go live and then once the live stream is done and then the video stays on the channel, the comments that were there from the actual live stream completely disappear. And I don't know why that is. So unfortunately, that's just the case. But like Kevin's saying, you can still go back in and watch the video that's going to stay up on the channel and ask questions there. Or, you know, on obviously Facebook. Thankfully, the comments do stay on Facebook, so that'll be a lot easier. But thank you guys again. I mean, it seems like right now there's not a lot of buffering happening. So if you have any last minute questions, at least on the Facebook end, I'm not seeing any buffering. I don't know how it's looking.
It looks fine on
YouTube. But we can answer a couple more questions. Karina's been here from the beginning. She's like, I can't believe we've been here an hour and a half. I know. We're all just hanging out. It's just what's going on, you know?
Somebody on YouTube asked, can you make a video? No. Somebody asked, can you make a live episode where we can ask the characters questions? Jenny's already doing that. She's doing live readings. She did it as Loretta and as Abuela and Michi? No, I don't know which ones you've done. I'm not subscribed to your channel,
I
Jenny.
did.
So.
Okay, well, screw you, cousin Kevin. No, we so far I did 2 live streams featuring my characters on both Facebook and YouTube. The first one was Loretta reading The Stinky Cheeseman and Other Fairly Stupid Tales, and then I had Abuela reciting Jose Martí poetry and some canciones from our childhood. And so the next character live is going to be with Jaslaney, and she's going to be reading some chapters from Coraline. I did purchase some more books, some more children's books, like Captain Underpants. and Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. So I think I'm going to have Michi reading some. And I have to figure out what Marucci's going to read. And possibly, if you guys want to see Gloria or Flor or Benito, let me know. I wish I can add a poll right here, but I can't. But if you have any suggestions for what you want some of the characters to read, I will strongly consider.
So I have a question for somebody. Sylvia Osorio keeps asking, will Melanin Queen from the Bronx ever come back? And I'm not sure I understand what that is. So if Sylvia can leave a comment explaining to us who that is, because maybe I'm confused, but I'm really curious.
Unless she's talking about Cesa la Princesa.
Skittles?
Skittles.
Oh, maybe.
I love Skittles. Shout out to Skittles.
Yeah. If she's talking about Skittles, if she comes back to LA, I think we would have her on another.
Oh my God, I love Skittles.
Video. Speaking of Fidelia and her to do a FaceTime. Can we get Fidelia and Cesa to do a FaceTime?
Well, it'll be a FaceTime video, but it wouldn't be a live.
Yeah, it wouldn't be live.
But Danny and I are thinking of doing a live stream as Fidelia and Marucci, but we have to plan it out more. But it's definitely going to be a video. Someone keeps asking on Facebook, Kevin, if you speak Spanish.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, fluently. I guess, debo hablar ahorita para comprobar que hablo español, I guess.
Kevin swears, okay? Your Spanish is like way better than mine. No,
but don't get me wrong. I think I know I speak good Spanish. It's just that it's one of those where it's like somebody's like, "Hey, be funny." Like, "Hey, speak Spanish." I'm like, "No sé qué sí." Like,
I know when someone puts me on the spot, I'm like, en bacalao. Someone's asking Sylvia, for a Benito Q&A. What?
Sylvia, we answered your question.
What?
Sorry. The person who's asking about Melanin Queen keeps asking the same question like every minute.
Well, then it might be a troll. I don't know. It might be
I'm getting obsessed with
Matthew is actually asking a really good question that we haven't thought about. What are the zodiac signs of all the characters in the show?
Oh, well, I want to talk to you about that because I want to do. Remember the video I want to do with Abuela and Jesslania about Walter?
Yeah.
I think it'd be funny if Jesslania goes through and talks about her whole family and who it has which. We want to do a Walter Mercado tribute video.
I know for sure Abuela and Jesslania are Scorpios.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that they're going to bounce. Yeah, exactly. And they're going to bond over that.
Yeah, and because my grandma was born on October 28th and I'm October 30th. And so we were both Scorpions. And so, yeah, I think that... So I want the Abuela character is definitely a Scorpio, and so is Jesslania. The other ones to be announced. That's something me and Kevin can sit down and think about.
Somebody
go ahead.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
No.
Somebody keeps asking what Abuela's name is, and we're never gonna say what Abuela's name is. It's always gonna be. We even in the episode that we did with Mario, where he comes in and is like, "Is this your package?" We discuss specifically how he can ask that without saying what her name is, because we are never gonna reveal Abuela's name.
I mean, at least not on the internet. I think if Abuela ever makes it to television, then we're probably gonna have to give her a name.
I think it'd be funny if she never has it.
But in the meantime, yeah, I know. But
I have my theory about what Abuela's name is, and I think I told you what it is.
I'm forgetting now.
Tell you off camera.
I did give her a name in my pilot that I wrote.
Oh.
Because I had to. Guys, please include a Mexican character. So we do. One of Marucci's best friends is played by Cristina Vargas, and she's Mexican. And her character name, did I just say that already? Her character name is Lorena. And what?
She had two names, remember? We gave her one and then we...
No, the first... I forgot. It's sometimes that happens that we forget that we gave a character a name and then we change it in the future and then we just go with it. So her real character name going forward is Lorena. Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. And I think living in LA, there's a lot of Mexican actors and performers here. I do think that we want to be inclusive, but a lot of our stuff is based in South Florida. And in South Florida, there's just a lot more Caribbean people. And I think a lot of things we come up with is that. So I think if we do more stuff, we have to include more different nationalities. But when it's Jenny playing all the characters, like they're mostly going to be Cuban. We're not going to have Jenny play somebody who's Mexican or something.
Yeah, like I mean, when I make my bigger videos that include a big, huge cast, I always try to make sure that it's diverse, not just among Latinos, but in general. Like I always want to make sure that I have Afro-Latina or Latino representation. I want to make sure that we just get, people that don't look like me. You know what I mean? But obviously, yeah, when I'm playing all the characters myself, I would never dare try to play another nationality other than, the Caucasian lady who's non-Hispanic. But I always, in terms of the characters that are currently in my universe, Laura, who plays Mirta, is Venezuelan. Kevin is Venezuelan Colombian. My husband David, who plays Benito, is Peruvian Puerto Rican. Dani Adalys is Puerto Rican. Mimi is Cuban.
Andrea's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, my friend Andrea, who's been in a couple of the videos, she's Cuban Puerto Rican. Christina Vargas is Mexican. When we've had Skittles, otherwise known as Cesa la Princesa, she's Puerto Rican, Boricua. So yeah, I that to me is so important. That, and especially when the day comes that I hopefully have a TV show, that's going to be at the forefront of my decision making. Any more questions?
I like this.
Before? Oh, go ahead.
I have somebody, Christina Andrea, and she's asking two questions. She's saying, do you have a profession or is this your main job? And then she's also asking, who is this guy here? It's like a real Quincarajo. Like, I don't think she knows who I am. So she's like, who is this?
Like a truly genuine Quincarajo's Kevin question.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's like the rundown of my career and what I do for a living, because I'm sure it's confusing to a lot of folks. And they see people like me on the internet and they're like, is that all they do? Short answer, yes. This is how I make a living. Sorry, the sun is like hitting my face and I have to keep moving. Okay, so basically, again, I've been acting my whole life. Went to film school when I was still in Miami. Like most people graduating film school, I struggled a lot. I had all kinds of odd jobs. And it wasn't until the year before I moved to Los Angeles that I started working at Univision as a quality control editor for telenovela promos. So I was that person who would insert the graphics for like, esta noche, mañana, en solo minutos. And so that was my job. Okay, that was my job. And I worked in a very dark room. And then I also had another job at the same time as the Nesquik Bunny mascot. And so when I moved to Los Angeles, I snagged a job as an intern at BuzzFeed. At the time it was called BuzzFeed Motion Pictures. And so the rest is history in a sense. So I worked at BuzzFeed for a while. I was one of the co-founders of Pero Like, alongside some really, really great friends. Actually, if you go on the Pero Like YouTube channel right now, we released a video not long ago where all the original founders of Pero Like discuss how we got together, why we did what we did, and the struggles that we encountered in doing so. And so after BuzzFeed, I was a video producer at We Are Me Too for almost 2 years, and then I've been on my own for the past 2 years. I decided that, I look up to a lot of people like LeJuan James, who has made a career for himself on his own channel, on his own platforms. And I felt stuck because I kept doing Abuela over and over and over again. And I was worried that people were going to start thinking, is Jenny a one-trick pony? Is this the only character that she can play? And I was just itching for more. And I knew that if I had a lot of mentors and even my teachers at Groundlings telling me, do not give these companies your characters, so keep them to yourself until you can go on your own. And so that's what I did. And it was one of the scariest, but also one of the best decisions I ever made. I'm sure a lot of you are asking, well, how do I make a living? How do I make money and put food on the table? The easy answer, and for me, it's different. You can't say that this applies to every influencer or content creator because we all make our revenue differently. Some of us get all of our revenue from views. Some of us get our revenue from merchandise. Obviously, a culmination of all of that. For me, my primary source of income is doing branded content. As you've seen, I've done videos with like Denny's and Snickers and TurboTax and Mucinex, and the list goes on and on. We've worked with so many brands, and I'm very picky when it comes to the brands that I work with. I think I've been lucky in the sense that the agencies and the brands, the clients that I do partner with, they're very open-minded. They let me have a lot of the creative say and input. And what's important for me is like, okay, well, I need to make money, so I'm going to take on this brand deal, but I also want to make sure that my audience is entertained and that they still find it funny and enjoyable to watch, even if there is a brand attached. So that is always my number one goal, is having that creative freedom to still, make good comedy, even though it's attached to a brand. So that is how I make a living primarily. And then, of course, it's coupled with Patreon. And, I have a Patreon account. Thanks to those who do donate towards the Patreon. That money goes right back into the shoots. It pays Kevin. It pays Christina. It pays Ernie. It pays the crew that work on my shoots. And I also have the Facebook fan subscriber program for the same reason. And so that's not really income for me, because all of that money goes back into the videos. Because if you were here earlier, you can see that I've invested a lot of money into my sets and costumes and everything like that. Forgive me, my nose itches. A lot of people, switching from that though, a lot of people have been asking, Kevin, how you and I met. I'm gonna go scratch my nose off camera if you want to answer.
I'm just gonna pick my nose right here.
Okay.
How did we meet? I forgot. It was in Miami. Back in Miami, I studied film. I used to work at film festivals, and I used to work at art houses. And Jenny had a film in a local weekly film festival thing, and I was selling tickets, or somebody was selling tickets, and they had promised her, the people organizing had promised her a certain number of tickets for her people, and they didn't have them. So that's the first time we met. Her being like, "But I came all the way here," and me going like, "There's no tickets under your name. Sorry." And then I realized she was friends with friends of mine. She was friends with Christina and with some other people, Larry White and stuff, that I went to school with. So we became Facebook friends. And I saw an episode of Geek As, and I was like, this girl's fantastic. She's funny. It was like the Iron Man episode where she worked on Iron Man as a PA, and she told a story about that. And it was so freaking funny. I was just like, she's really funny. And then she would always be doing stuff. And I would just try to help. I think this one time I let her shoot at the theater or use the theater for something. And it was the sort of thing where I felt like I wasn't doing anything creative. I was just running a theater and stuff like that. And I just wanted to help somebody. But then this is 2013. Ultimately, when she moved to LA, she inspired me. I was like, she's out there doing it. Why am I sitting back home doing the thing I've always done? And then I moved out here, and then it worked out well. I didn't have anything else to do, and I was always like, I'll help you. And then it turned out that we actually have a really good working relationship. We get along really well. We have somewhat similar comedy styles. And I think we both just enjoy this type of comedy. So So that's how we became friends and why we're still friends, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it all just kind of worked out that way. It's so interesting. Like, again, my entire crew, um, they're all friends of mine from Miami. You know, I've known Christina, one of my primary cinematographers, for about 13 years now. We met on this little Caquita film shoot for like a horror movie contest back in 2007. And we've been filming countless projects when we lived in Miami, and now we're in this together here. And then my friend Ernie, who films a lot of my sketches as well, he and I went to film school. We went to the University of Miami. So it's really important to work with people who you can trust, who are genuinely good friends. And that's why when I watch like Adam Sandler films or like David Spade, I mean all these like comedians that work together, I'm like blanking out on this other person that's like notorious for working with his friends.
Adam Sandler.
I already said Adam Sandler. I know Ben Stiller. You know, a lot of these like comedians and stuff, they tend to work with the same group of people, and I totally see why, and I think you can see the magic come through that way. I think it's funnier and it's just easier, you know, and you kind of form this really nice community. So it's been freaking awesome. I mean, after we finish filming, a lot of the time we just end up hanging out afterwards because we're actually friends.
There's 3 questions that keep being asked, and I just want to answer them on YouTube so they stop asking them. One of them is how long does it take between 5 to 12 hours? Somebody else asked, why does Jesslanie let Gloria tell all the lies? My theory is that Jesslanie likes the chaos of it all. She's like, yeah, go ahead, lie about me. I don't care. Would you agree? Or
yeah. I just think like Jesslanie's over it, and she knows she's not going to change her mom, so why fight it?
Yeah, and then somebody else, and this, I want to make sure we answer this, or you answer this. Somebody, she wanted to know how long does it take for you to change into each character? And I just want to say that when we shoot a lot of characters, we literally shoot it in the order of who wears least makeup to most makeup. So we always start with Abuela, and then we finish with Flor, I think. So that's one of the ways that we organize our shoots when we have multiple characters, like who is the easiest makeup for Jenny to get into, and then go from there. But yeah, they want to know how long, or she wants to know how long it takes for you to change into makeup, into each character, I mean.
Yeah, I really don't try that hard with makeup because it's difficult. I kind of just have like a color palette. Like this is like Marucci's always gonna wear red lipstick. Laritza's always gonna wear purple lipstick. Obviously, Jesslanie is like black eyeshadow, black lipstick. So that makes it easy for me. Obviously, Flor has like the most outlandish. She'll wear like blue eyeshadow. No rhyme or reason. I know someone just asked a pretty good question. I can't see it anymore because like the way Facebook is doing this is a little odd, but they were asking, how do we balance everything? Because obviously we have a Spanish speaking audience, but also an audience that doesn't speak Spanish at all. And I think the question more or less was about, you know, mainstream, going a little more mainstream. Have we ever thought about that? Like kind of like the whole Mama's Family type of thing. And essentially that is what I recently wrote a pilot script for a very similar take on Mama's Family meets Que Pasa USA with the Abuela character, for example. And so a lot of it is I never want to water down my content, whether it's on the internet or for television. I think we're in a time now that it's okay. You know, we saw Parasite take multiple Oscars, right? And it's not even in the English language. And so that's what subtitles are for. Narcos is one of the first shows, I think, that was entirely in Spanish, had only all these English subtitles, and people still tuned in. And I think, another example is Jane the Virgin. The abuela, played by Yvonne Cole, she only speaks Spanish on the show, and there's subtitles. So I feel like, not that the show that I'm trying to produce for TV someday it's not going to all be in Spanish, but at the end of the day, for me, what's relatable is an abuela who speaks Spanish, mostly. And if she tries to speak English, it's going to be very broken English. And that's exactly who she's going to be on the show if I were to ever have an abuela-centered show on television. But no matter what, whatever I end up producing on TV someday, hopefully, that's the goal, is that I'm not going to water it down. It's going to be bilingual, you know? And I think that's okay. I think people will still tune in. I have plenty of beautiful people right now watching who say that they don't speak Spanish and they still tune in, because at the end of the day, it's about relationships. It's about scenarios. It's about like, what are abuela and Mirta gonna get into now? And these are like all things that one can relate to, even if you're not part of that specific culture. And not like, I related to my big fat Greek wedding. I've never been to Greece, and I have known maybe 1 or 2 Greek people personally, like. And then watching the movie, I'm like, oh my God, we are so much alike. Just like with a lot of my Jewish friends and my Italian friends and my Haitian friends and my Bahamian friends, the list goes on. And it's like we share a lot more in common than we realize across cultures. So for me, why can't this be considered mainstream?
Yeah. I think people ask me that too, especially since I started working with you and making stuff that's like, oh, Latino. People go, oh, but are you always going to do Latino stuff? Like, are you ever going to just do normal stuff? You know, and the implication.
Like, what the hell is that? This is normal. This is diversity. Right. This is what it is.
Exactly. And I think that the idea isn't like trying to go into the mainstream or like take what we do and make it more mainstream. I think it's like trying to make the mainstream more like what we do, you know? So take what we do already and just put it in the mainstream and just say, this is what it is. You know, we're going to have characters that speak this way or that do this, or these are the topics we're going to talk about, and not, like you say, water it down, but also like not adapt it. Like, it's always annoying. I mean, I know they need to do it, but it's always annoying in movies when they're like, Mami, ¿pa dónde vas? Where are you going? Like, they say it twice. Like, that's never happened in the history of Latin American, you know, families. So whatever. Like, I think it's the idea of that taking what we know, and putting it and showing people growing up, I always had the idea as a filmmaker and stuff like, oh, I have to make things that appeal to everybody. I think we assume that everybody is, you know, like it's there's no everybody. Like, people enjoy things that other people do. I think one of the reasons I talked to you about this, one of the reasons why our Thanksgiving videos are so good, or that we enjoy making them, and it's like, why is it always Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving isn't a very Latino holiday, you know? But I think that's the deal. It's like, my family, they're immigrants. My family, I was born in another country. My family was from another country. We came here, and our Thanksgivings were weird. It was my family being like, we don't understand this tradition, but we're going to try to emulate it. And to me, that's like the most authentic version of us, is like, we're in America and we're going to try an American thing, but we're going to do it in a very Latino way, you know? Yeah. And that's almost like what we do, you know?
Yeah. So again, like, for us, we do what we do, not just for ourselves. It's almost like a mission, you know? I mean, that was my mission since, you know, being at BuzzFeed and helping find Pero Like, because it was a mission, because there wasn't enough. There was no Latino content at BuzzFeed at the time, and it was such a giant platform, and I was like, well, this is not good. We need to change this. And so that's always been my goal with my content, and my goal going forward. And hopefully, you know, and I'm never gonna forsake digital. I think digital is such an important platform because we reach millions and millions of people. In fact, more people sometimes than television ratings. And so people always ask me, like, oh, are you going to stop making internet content? I know obviously things would change a lot in terms of my time management, but you see a lot of celebrities now with their own YouTube channels, like Will Smith and Jada are a great, fantastic example, especially with Red Table Talk on Facebook. And so I think, you know, this is like kind of like the Wild West of media. It's the new frontier, and we're in for the ride. But yeah.
And look at right now, like, because of the quarantine and stuff, all the late night shows, they're shooting from home, you know? And 10 years ago, they wouldn't have done that. Like, even with the technology that existed 10 years ago, they were just like, okay, we're just not going to have a show. But because people are so used to people like us who make things at home and have like this like aesthetic that looks a little like, Jimmy Fallon or Conan O'Brien is like, yeah, you shoot our show with a GoPro this week because people are okay with it. So yeah, so like you can't forsake digital because digital is actually going to be the future. Eventually, everything is going to be digital. It's going to be streamed online, and it doesn't really matter if you're on a network or not. I want to highlight two comments that were right next to each other in YouTube, and one person said, "I've been learning Spanish for 3 years, and your videos are a fun way to help learn the language." And the other person said, "Para mí ha sido una buena forma de aprender inglés." So one person's saying that they're learning Spanish with your videos, and the other person's saying they're learning English with your videos.
That's really funny. That's really, really funny.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I feel bad. I shouldn't feel bad, whatever. But we've been on for over 2 hours, and so we're super appreciative that you guys stopped, especially those who stuck around for these past 2 hours. Oh my gosh. But then again, we're all stuck at home, so what? Just a normal. I don't know what day it is. Oh my god, what day is it? Monday?
Monday.
It's Monday. Okay, it just feels like an incredibly long Sunday. And, it was nice to wear something other than my PJs, so thank you all for giving me a reason to not look like a caca leche. And hopefully we can do one more like this, or a couple more like this in the future. So, and again, before we go, I want to remind everyone that obviously, I know I said it earlier, but just in case there are new folks here, Kevin and I are right now staying at home because there's a lockdown in Los Angeles. And, we don't have the resources right now to make these fully fleshed out videos like you're used to seeing. The coronavirus video that we released about a week or so ago, that was the last video that we were all able to make as a team. Together in my apartment. And so now I'm on my own. Obviously, I live with my husband, and my dog. But, we're just trying to be creative. That's why you saw my husband and I recreate the Haunted Mansion ride from our living room. So we're trying to be creative in different ways because this has been a challenge, I think, for a lot of people in the entertainment industry. And so I'm trying to figure out new and different ways to film content and put it out there for you all to keep bringing some laughter during such a tough time. And, I'm such a type A, anxiety-ridden perfectionist. I think I've texted Kevin like 3 days in a row. I'm like, I have anxiety. I have so much anxiety right now that I can't film the things that I want to film. But it is what it is. There's only so much we can do. And I'm proud of the stuff we've been able to manage so far on our own. I mean, Kevin filmed the Primo Kevin sketch by himself with his friend Jerry, where he's currently staying. And then he filmed this hilarious Back to the Future ride, homemade. You have to check it out on his channel. And so we've just been trying to be creative on our own and do the very best that we can with what we've got, considering the situation. So, my primary goal, aside from trying to shush the anxiety, is to write as much as possible. Yeah. And that way, when this is all over and we can finally get together to film again, there will be plenty of stuff to film and get out there. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I will have a video coming out tomorrow. It's with Abuela and Mirta. Again, it's not your conventional video. It's another FaceTime call between Abuela and Mirta. So yeah, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you all. I'm trying to make this not be a Latino goodbye, but it kind of is. Yeah. All right.
All right. Ciao.